Before you get married, there are two things that are really critical.
Steve, it doesn't sound real romantic. You're engaged and you want to talk about money and finances, but think about all the things that do lead to a divorce down the road. So starting off on the right foot, as we discussed in the book, hey, talk about your income, talk about your expenses, create a budget together. It's not going to be the most fun conversation to have, and sometimes it's very awkward. But also talk about the debt that you're both potentially are bringing into the relationship. And these are things that are hard to talk about when you're married. So you can't imagine, I know, just get it out of the way from put your best foot forward so there's no hidden surprises that takes away from that special moment when you get married.
Great point. We also talk about in the book the power of a prenuptial agreement. So if one of the parties is coming into this with maybe significant assets or on the other side, significant debt, student loan debt, prenuptial agreement might be very appropriate, very appropriate.
Yeah, people think about prenuptial agreement for the rich and the wealthy, but as we discussed more importantly, a lot of people come in with student loans, and if that person passes away, that prenuptial agreement could very well help the surviving spouse by not having to be obligated to pay that expense.
hmm And sometimes I think people can be tied together with the other person's debt when they get married. We talk about that in the book as well, right? That even though you may not try to commingle assets, so to speak, and maybe not have one person responsible for that other person's debt, sometimes that can happen if you're not careful, right?
Right, exactly. And I've got, clients in their 80s that still have their own separate checking accounts, but you know what? It was communicated and it works for them. So making sure that everyone's comfortable with the financial arrangement will make for a potentially much better financial marriage.
That's great. Thanks, Mark.
You bet.